Play a pro like that. Want to party with me?
Hey, good morning to everybody. This is Furman Jackson Jr., the host of the Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast here, broadcast in DFW, that's Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. So everybody wants to know what the DFW means. We're very glad, we're very fortunate, we're very honored that we are back here on this Saturday morning edition of the Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. We'll be live streaming every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. I'm very excited, very fortunate to have my guest with me this morning. Hardworking woman, always on the go, always making a name for herself, all about putting the smile, the laugh on the people when she's on stage or hosting events. We met about some years ago. I've been here 3 years. We came across what she did event via social media, went to one event, became friends ever since then. Very consistent, very honored, of course. It's never a dull moment when you come across this amazing woman. Alberta The Exception. Thank you once again for taking time out of your schedule to come on here. I know you're a very productive woman, I want to say the word busy, but you do a lot of great things around the city, not just in DFW, but all around. So how everything been going with you? What's been going on with you?
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, first of all, thank you for having me. And you yourself are an inspiration, staying focused and, being consistent. So, so thank you again for having me on your show. I appreciate you. But yeah, got shows coming up. Just doing my thing with comedy. Really looking forward to this year.
And, and it's something I always look forward to, especially you doing something that you're passionate about. You're doing something that you love to do, and you have an opportunity, per se, to minister. When I say minister, serving people. You're out there putting on shows, putting together a routine where you want to give everyone whom you come in contact with a great time, no matter what they may be dealing with, what they may face, because someone somewhere is always dealing with something, going through something, different trying times, challenges, some type of transition in life. But you being there to put a smile on their face, give them time to laugh, just to unwind. Because like I said, you never know what an individual may be dealing with, or maybe going through, or coming out of. But by you, doing a routine, doing a joke, really made their day and just really change the circumstances.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure and it's an honor to be able to bring some light, to somebody, if even for a short period of time, just to be that light, just be that vessel, to show love. And like you said, I want to make everybody feel welcome. I want everybody to feel like, they've been knowing me for years. You know what I mean? So, so that's I never want anybody to feel, offended or anything like that. So, I try to be aware of things like that.
And yeah, and mostly, and like I say, every time you have an event or you're doing things, you make yourself known, you make your presence known, you're always interacting with people that come to your show, that come to your event, and you're not being standoffish. Well, you have individuals who be standoffish. They don't make people feel welcome, but you're the ones, I know many, make people feel welcome. And that's a good thing, because at the end of the day, they're paying your bills when they come and paying their hard-earned money to see your show. That's why I giving them money. But like, man, she's real, she's genuine, she's not coming out being phony or fake. We actually make people welcome, and that's a beautiful thing. And God bless you for that.
I appreciate that.
So, like I said, you have an impressive resume. You went from athletics to comedian. How did it all come about from going from an athletic background to transition to on the stage, performing in front of, I'm going to say performing in front of millions of individuals?
Yeah, we going to claim that.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
For sure. Well, I actually, I don't know, as far as comedy goes, I just kind of always been that person, making people laugh and, all of that. And I just never really thought it was a profession that could, that you could really do a whole lot. Because back in the day, you had Def Comedy Jam, but stuff like that, and BT, you know what I mean? They had comic things like that, but it just it seems like at that time as a kid looking at that, I enjoyed it. I watched it. I enjoyed it. Martin, stand up, seeing that as a kid, I probably shouldn't have seen that as a kid, from the language terms of
Right.
it and all of that. But yeah, I love that, but I just didn't think it was something that was possible for me. You know what I mean? I didn't know anybody, as a kid that was in that field or that had been successful in that field. And then, then the older I got, I started coming in contact with, like that. And I'm like, okay. And I actually got to, watch the progress and watch them rise. And it was inspirational. And I always had like jokes in my head. You know what I mean? I never knew why. You know what I mean? I just always, was thinking about, stuff, but I never knew how to format it and things like that. And so I eventually, kind of started seeing comedy, in more Black comedians, as well, blowing up and being successful and really being able to leave a mark, and I was like, oh man, like that's a legit, you know what I mean? That's a legit space, and I've always had these jokes in my head and just, never really knew how to get them out. And playing football, I actually, finally came to it. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna get on stage one day. I'm gonna go to an open mic, and one of my teammates, she was like, yeah, I'm about to, get into comedy too. And she did, like, she was like, yeah, you just gotta get out there, to open mics and this. But I was like terrified, and I was like, I gotta learn how to do it first. I don't want to look dumb, And so that was Ilana Spiller, and she actually was on Part of the City, season 3, I believe. So just kind of watching her progress in comedy, I was easing towards it, you know what I mean? And I was kind of like lurking in the shadows. I go and see her shows, and then it's a comedian named Comedian Q that I had met even probably before I met Kilana. But he would tell me like, hey, you gotta be out here with us, and I'm like, dang, he's right, but I had to go a different path as far as getting there because I was so afraid, so I had to learn. I went to Dallas Comedy. They had a like comic stand-up class, right? At in Deep Ellum. So I attended, stand-up level 1 and level 2. A friend of mine actually sponsored me because she believed in me. She like, me, like, you gotta go on and, go on and do it. I believe in you. You know what? I'm a sponsor, and pay for this class for you so you can go ahead and get started. And that's a friend of mine I played football with as well. All of it, kind of goes back to football. But a friend of mine, she was actually the first woman to coach in the NFL. So her name is Jen Welter. So shout out to Welter. She showed me love back then, like really believing in me and pushing me to, go ahead and get out there. But yeah, it really ended up, coming down to like lurking in the shadows, my way, and then, like, can't tell you how to, you know what I mean? Like they just know how to, you know what I'm saying? Or they just sit there and they like, somehow they just know. I mean, but they can't teach it. It's like everybody that just because you're a good basketball player don't mean that you're a good coach. You know what I mean? So I was asking people like, how do I like, I got all this stuff and it was just like none of it was tied together, and I didn't know how to tie it together. And people would give me their version of advice, but it wasn't helpful. And then I finally came across somebody that saw what I was trying to do, and he pulled me to the side after a few times seeing me. He like, yeah, like you got some good stuff. Like you just need to know how to organize it and structure it. And he showed me that, and me and him been rocking ever since. That's my boy Derek Jack. Like, so we be doing. Matter of fact, we have a show together at the Addison Improv on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, 7:30. Whatever. Yeah.
So
yeah,
and it's awesome.
Blessed, yeah.
Man, that's awesome, and you've been going ever since then.
Yeah.
And just like that the transition from being an athlete to staying a comedian, and just big shout out to the individual who believed in you, and just how skies are the limit. There's no if, there's no can't, but the possibility of someone believing in you. What opinion can you give someone who never that experience. Okay, someone believing in me, not downing me, not belittling me, but giving me the green light, saying, "Hey, I believe in you." How is that feeling to have when someone tell you when you made that transition, "Hey, I believe in you"?
Oh man, no, it was great because you have that side of it. You got friends that are like, "Hey, I believe in you. Go do it. You ain't gonna be good at first." You know what I'm saying? Like, but being an athlete for so long and being good, you know what I mean? Like being good at what I do for so long, sometimes it's hard to start over and go back to zero. You know what I'm saying? And then, kind of build your way back up. But that was something that I had to do. And also, at the same time, you have friends that are like, "Hey, you know what? Like you didn't accomplish a lot." You know what I mean? Like maybe this ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Like let them do that. And so, but you have to even, but they're not coming from a place to hurt you. Like they trying to protect you in their way. You know what I mean? Like instead of looking at it like, man, they trying to dim your shine and no, you gotta look at it like, no, they trying to protect you. They ain't never seen you in this state. You know what I'm saying? They ain't never seen you vulnerable. And that's what it was. Like, coming in brand new, like it's a vulnerability to start over and learn something new and, fall on your face and, get back up and, do it again. So, I'm thankful for all of it.
Yeah, and that's it. That's when you have conversation with people. When you always say, "Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm trying," or things of that nature. I always say remove trying because you are doing it. There's some people who ain't doing it, but by you making the first step shows that you are winning, the willingness to succeed. And we may have some hiccups along the way or some setbacks, but you still keep going and you still keep pressing your way through. And because at time we get tested too, I believe, because people stand back to say, "Okay, I just want to see how consistent you are, how serious you are when it comes to what you're doing." Where they stay in office to see, okay, how consistent that you are with it.
Well, it's kind of weird. It is. Some people, they gonna show up just because they love you. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily seeing if you're gonna be consistent or not, because they don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Like they never seen you in they only know you in one facet of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a lot of people only knew me for football and that personality that I was playing football. You know what I mean? And even so, a lot of them still didn't know me personally. You know what I'm saying? But they knew me on that level. And had a lot of interaction with me on that level. But you just gotta kind of just keep going and keep, like Jay-Z just said perfectly. You gotta keep showing up. And not let what anybody thinks. Like because you can tell. You know what I mean? You can tell. Like you come off stage and you ain't do good. Like people like, well, so what we gonna eat after this? You know, it's like it ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Like it's super awkward, and then like you being new, like you don't really know, like you know what I'm saying, how bad you are at first. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful for the ones that saw me in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And I love for them to come and see me now, so they can see the growth. You know what I'm saying? And be like, dang, like you really stuck with it and you learned it. You know what I'm saying? And you doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I especially love for people that saw me from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? To see me on stage now, because I had real confidence on stage. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't used to that. Like I'm so, man, on the field. Oh my God. Oh man, like that person, that alter ego on the field, Lil Red. Oh man, Lil Red was a fool. You know what I mean? Like just but having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like very aggressive, very confident. You know what I mean? Like it was a definite swagger on the field that's different than how I carry myself just in day-to-day life. Like matter of fact, I used to be in corporate America, probably the majority. Yeah, corporate, all of my football career, and I had invited some coworkers out to my game, and I'm not thinking about my different personalities. You know what I'm saying? You got the corporate personality, and then it's me on the field where I'm 100% free. You know what I'm saying? I'm completely free on the field. And I went back to work, and dude came up to me. He was like, "Dang, Berta." He was like, "You didn't tell me you was a thug." I was like, "Ah." Like, oh yeah. You don't know that side of me. Yeah. On the field, because I'm so aggressive. I'm, you know, you would think I'm small and everything, but nah, I definitely carry this weight real nice. I used it in the most impactful way. I was known for depleting people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about knocking them off their feet. I don't care how big they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was
Mhm.
me. You know, so so to go from them seeing me as that person on the field, very aggressive. I'm a leader. You know what I'm saying? I'm a captain. You know, all of that. To seeing me go into something where I'm like not sure of myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm you know vulnerable. Like I said, they never seen me like that. You know what I'm saying? Always been in control. And so you could tell that you can see the difference. Now I'm who I am on stage is who I am. You know what I mean? Like you really get to see my personality. That's really, you know what I mean? Like how I act. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to have a good time. You know, I like to have fun and I like to make people feel welcome. So you know, the confidence that you see on stage is the confidence that I had on the field. You know, so that part I'm so glad that I caught up to that because
Mhm.
I did not like being unsure of myself. You know, but like I said, sometimes you have to start over. You know, go from 1 to 10, and then you got to start back over at 1 to get 11 to 20. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be
Right.
scared to go to the next level. You got to start over somewhere. You know, and it's just a part of leveling up. You know, so I'm thankful. Like I said, I'm thankful for it all. But yeah, it's definitely a. You can tell when somebody is kind of embarrassed. Like yeah, I know, but yeah, but so yeah, it was a little weird. You know, I know it was weird for them, like I said, because they not used to seeing me vulnerable.
Right. Because everyone see you in a different light until they actually get to see another side of you that they never seen before, they never witnessed. But always been in you,
Mhm.
which you know you weren't surprised, but on the outside, it's like, wow, surprised. I know that. I did not know this and that. But just to see you perform, it's just to see
Yeah.
you put on the show and just like, wow, and all of this, and having a good time. Because at the end of the day, what you do is all about having fun.
Right.
I know you collab with a lot of individuals as
Yeah.
well, and just all by coming together, having a good time, giving people their time's worth, their money's worth, that they can go and leave with something. That something was said, something with light a fire in them or sparking them, whatever you want to say, but them having a good time. So, like I said, you made that transition from athletics to stand-up comedian. Are there any similarities when it comes to preparing? I know we have a game coming up. You got to prepare for the game. The
Mhm.
same way when you get to do a show, you got to prepare for that. So, are there any similarities when it comes to preparing yourself? At the end of the day, I know the number one goal is to dominate.
Right.
And just to dominate in every when the field that you're in, ladies and gentlemen, you want to dominate. You want to give you your 1,000%. So, are
Mhm.
there any similarities when it comes to making those preparations when it's
Oh
going
yeah.
before a live audience?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the biggest thing for me is mindset. You know what I mean? Like mindset. I can't. Some people can um be talking, playing. You know what I mean? Like drink and you know what I mean? Like be real loose prior to getting on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like I gotta get to myself, get in my zone. You know what I mean? Get focused. You know what I mean? It's because I'm mentally preparing for one. I'm preparing myself for the audience. They're seeing me. A lot of them, most of them, are seeing me for the first time. You know what I mean? So I want to, so when I get on the stage, that's gonna be a first impression, right? So I want to
Right.
make sure that I make the right first impression and off top make people feel welcome. You know what I mean? So you might see me at the back of a room at a comedy show, pacing back and forth. You know what I mean? Stretching. I do all of that. Or I'll be
Mm-hmm.
off on a side room, pacing just because I'm mentally preparing and visualizing before I get on that stage, and that's exactly what I did with football. Like it was a total. Now I was one of those people that could play, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
for football, like I could be joking around, playing in the locker room, but I could also turn that off you know what I mean, and get focused in my zone, because I knew how much time I had, you know what I mean, and I knew how much time I needed to get my mind, get my mind right. What I didn't understand as a player is that everybody couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm playing with, joking, da 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 da, and then boom, I'm getting focused, getting in my zone, and they don't know how to hit that switch. You know what I mean? I used to have a coach that used to say, you got to hit the psycho switch whenever you get ready to go on field. Like, the person that you are in between the lines, you know what I'm saying, is not the person that you are off this field. You know what I mean? So I carried that mentality, in everything I do. When I get on stage, like, it's a different person. You know what I mean? So, when I get on that stage, I got to be focused, and even though it's fun, it's a focused effort, you know what I mean? And it's not just me getting up there just rambling, you know what I mean? It's I'm thinking about my jokes, you know what I mean? I'm rehearsing my jokes, so I know what I'm popping off as soon as I get out there, so that it just kind of, flows when I get there. So yeah, it's still, it's a preparation, and, a lot of people, do open mics to get ready. That would be like football practice, you know what I'm saying? I don't really, just the way my schedule, I really don't hit a lot of open mics because I have a lot of shows. You know what I mean? I have shows. So, but yeah, it's definitely a good thing to do. I want to do more. Like I said, my schedule is just kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, so I just, I got 2 daughters, and both of them are young ladies, and working, and so, just kind of working around their schedules and all of that. I just don't get to get out as much as I would like to, but if it's some money involved, I'll make time. I'll make time. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta, if it's a show, you know what I'm saying, and not just me just going up there BSing or whatever. I work in my new material when I'm on stage. Basically in front of a live audience. Not saying nothing against open mic, but because it is a necessary thing, and like I say, it's just
right. Because this is your profession, this is your career, and you all about being 1,000% when it comes to your career, when it comes to your profession, at all costs. I totally respect that as well, Berta. And matter of fact, we're gonna jump into a quick commercial break, and we're gonna jump right back into some Q&A conversation as well. Got some more questions I want to ask you, so we're gonna be right back after this commercial break.
Yeah.
Tarrant County just spent $18 million on what?
Girl, they just spent $18 million sending inmates to Garza County because all 4 of our jails are filled here. And I know it's because these courts are backed up. This is a problem, but Mark, I know you can help fix this.
Okay, I know what I need to do. I'm Mark Clayton, judicial candidate for Tarrant County Criminal District Court 2. I promise to continue serving and protecting the citizens of Tarrant County by following the law, upholding our Constitution, ensuring fair and equitable sentencing, ruling firmly but with compassion. I need you to make your mark in 2024. Run to the polls and vote for me because your life depends on it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Way Impact Wars podcast. This is our Saturday morning edition. We are live streaming right now here in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. Hope everybody's having a great, productive day. We know it is rain. I know I got out of work this morning. I know it was raining or whatever. So if you're out there, be safe on the roads. People drive crazy. So make sure you're looking out for yourself. Make sure you're looking out for them also. If you are out there, be safe on the road. So we're back in my zone with Alberta The Exception right now. Very hardworking woman. I love her spirit. I love how consistent that she is always on a regular basis. She's always consistent with what she do, and I respect that. She always got her head down, and she's always grinding and putting in work. And you all about evolving, and that's another thing. You want to always evolve and perfecting your craft. So I know it's all about taking it to the next level. So let's talk about your name, Alberta.
Yeah.
Do people ask you? Do people question you all the time? I know that is your real name, but
Yeah,
do
it is.
people ask you that question? Is that your real name? That's
Yeah.
your stage name? Do they
Yes.
still ask you that on a regular
They
basis?
do. They do. Not on a regular basis, but I run into it. And sometimes I went to a chiropractor and recently, and whenever I walked into his office, he was like, like, wait a minute, Alberta? I said, yeah. He said, oh man. He said, I don't know. He said, I was expecting somebody much older. I was like, yeah, I know. Like, named after my grandma. So yeah. Or people always say, oh, you know what? My grandma's name is Alberta. My great auntie name is Alberta. Like, so it's definitely a thing whenever I tell people my name. So
So they just think that okay, it's your stage. This is actually
yeah,
your government
yeah,
name. It's not a
I,
stage name, but it's
nah, I didn't make that
up. So when it comes to, do you always put your, are you always in competition with yourself? That's the one I hear people say it's me versus me.
Mm-hmm.
So are you one individual who's always in competition? Because I know every time you do a show, it's like, okay, I did good on this show, but I want to outdo myself on this show to compare to the last show. So are you always in competition with yourself? Because it's always that me versus me, because at the end of the day, it's all about perfection, the delivery, and just always outdoing yourself on compared to the last show. So how do you always come by doing that?
Well, I feel like, whatever show, if I had because as a comedian, and ain't no comedian deny this, whenever you have a good show, the feeling that you have, it's like you just full of love. You know what I mean? It's just like it's an elevated feeling of love. You know what I mean? And everybody love that feeling. You know what I mean? So if I know whenever I have that feeling, like, okay, it can't drop below this right here. You know what I'm saying? And then it got to keep, that way you hold yourself accountable. Like, hey, this is how this one went. Like, okay, we can't do no worse. I mean, it was a great show. Don't get me wrong, but this is now the new. You know what I mean? It's the new notch that we got to rise above every time. If you keep competing with yourself like that, just trying to get better, because it's definitely not a, I think comedy's so subjective that, it's not you can't compare comedians to comedians, because people like so many different things. You know what I mean? So like, I might be hilarious to you, you know what I mean, but the person next to you, you know what I mean, didn't receive, you know what I mean, what I was saying, or you know what I mean, because they on a different, they on a different vibration or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't vibe with me. But the other comedian that you might not have found funny, they love it. It's like, dang, hold on, what? You know what I mean? So it's like, so you can't base it on that. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta go out there and be the best you every time. And not really, can't worry about, who gonna like me better. They gonna like me better than this person or what. No, you just gotta, because if you allow people to have that much power over you to say, oh, okay, well, yeah, these people like me, then I'm, doing my thing. Then when they're not receiving you, you know what I mean? Like, that feeling, you know what I mean? It's like losing a game. You know what I'm saying? It's like losing a game, and it's like when you lose a game, and any athlete know this feeling. When you lose the game, that's all you can think about. You know what I'm saying? You don't even want to see no. You know what I'm saying? After you done lost in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even want to think about it, But you gotta pull yourself back together and get back to it and say, okay, all right, let me look at it. You know what I'm saying? Let me, maybe I can deliver it. You know what I mean? Or the same 7 o'clock crowd, and they love it. You know what I mean? Then you have shows that night in the 9 o'clock crowd, same energy, and they don't play the 7 o'clock crowd. It's like, dang, in the same level. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's like, okay, you know what I mean? You let it hold you back. But for me, yes, I'm constantly in competition. And not only competition with myself, but I have to get out of my way. Let myself know what I'm saying? Like, you can get in your own way a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? And because for a long time, I let me get in my way of starting comedy. I had to get past that fear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And say, okay, well, what's on the other side of this fear? You know what I'm saying? Like, I really got to push to that, but it was a constant battle. Your nerves, you know, your knee is jumping, you know what I mean, uncontrollable, nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got to fight through that. And so that's the biggest battle every day is like, okay, all right, I need to work on some material. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I need to, and and honestly, even though I don't be getting up open mics and stuff, I'm always throughout the day, always working on, you know what I mean, working on how can I punch up this joke, how can I make this better, ooh, what can I add to this to make it better, you know what I mean, or think of something else and be like, ooh, I'm gonna start working on that. You know what I mean? I might not implement it just yet, but because I'm a perfectionist, and that's another thing. Like if you're a perfectionist, you get in your own way too. So it's like me battling against all of that. You know what I mean? It's like battling against all of that. So it's me versus me, and more than one way than just leveling up. You know what I'm saying? It's me. It's like, dang, nah, man, I want to sleep. No, you need to work on some material. You know what I mean? Like, man, I need. You know what I mean? I need to, do this. I want to get out and support people. I like to be at home. You know what I'm saying? I do. So it's like, it's fighting against me all day, every day. You know what I mean? It's like that is the biggest task.
Right, most definitely. It's destroying that ego. We know the ego comes up and say, "Oh, we can do another day. Oh, we can do it tomorrow. Oh, I wouldn't even worry about it. Yeah, you got plenty of time." It's all about destroying that ego.
Yeah.
When go biblical for a moment, when Christ said that the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. That's true right there, because that spirit is willing, that flesh is weak. That flesh get hungry. That flesh get tired. It get weary. And if we're not careful, we'll fall right into it. And then like, dang, I know I could have worked on this today. I know I'd be fit this day. Like I said, I know you was an athlete, and I know y'all go during practices. Y'all look, they always pull up the film and go back to, okay, what was did right, what was did wrong.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you do the same thing when it comes to your shows? Do you have it already recorded? Do you actually like go back, listen to what we did, how you did your delivery, so you do implement that as well also when it comes to doing your shows and stuff?
Yeah, and a lot of times if I have more audio than visual videos, you know what I mean? Sometimes I just because I want to hear it back. I want to hear what they laughed at, because when you're in the moment, you know they laughing, but you don't really, you know what I mean? It's hard to you just rolling with it because you own it, you know what I mean? So it's good to listen back. I like to listen back and say, okay, oh, they was, and I might throw an ad lib out there that is really not a part of my set, but I'm just like, oh, okay, oh, they like that, let me keep that, you know what I mean? And it helps kind of build on your set, or like, okay, I threw a new joke out there, let me see how they responded to it, you know what I mean? So yeah, so it is and sometimes it's hard to I don't like listening to myself, you know what I'm saying? So that's another mental battling against, you know what I'm saying, against myself, is like, nope, go listen to it. Like, hey, I don't, because I never, even as a kid, like, how, like, well, I'm in my 40s, man, so we used to have them boxes, the boom boxes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tape, you know what I'm saying? And you had to push the buttons and record, you know what I'm saying? So I used to always do stuff like that. I always wanted to be an entertainer. And even back then, I was like, dang, that's how I sound, so like, that's my voice, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, dang, but so it's still kind of just, again, it's that inner battle that we all go through in some way that we have to push through and say nope, don't do it, even though we don't want to, we don't feel like it, you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta do this,
And I want to know why is that we know where to go now. We want other people to watch our work and give their opinion, but when it comes to our own work, I never watch my work. I never, right now, even though we're live streaming right now, it's being recorded, and also it's being auto recorded, because this is going to be on the iHeart and Spotify side as well. Awesome. I never really go back to it because I just never did that. But people go back and watch it. Oh, I enjoyed it. It was good, whatever. And you're good at what you do. But deep down inside, I know it can always be better because I'm playing in my mind, okay, I want these shows to be good. I want these shows to be very interesting. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want the guests to feel welcome. I want the guests to bring forth their expertise, their wisdom, their knowledge. Because at the end of the day, it's about those about, I'm going to say it's about Alberta. These people pay our bills. That's what I want to say.
Right.
They are the ones who keep us going. These are the ones who keep our lights on. And so it's all right, okay, we want to make sure we get them a good show. Yeah. We want to make sure that when they listen to you, okay, you bring in the delivery, like, okay, I can go back and listen to what she said, even though I heard it before, but I'm always going to get something out of it. It's just like the Bible. We read the Bible, even though it may be the same thing, but we always get a different revelation out of it.
Yeah.
So it's always, I can put it down, but I can always go back to it. And that's how I just really look at it when it comes to just being the best at what we do. It's just like, I want to go back. I want them to go back, get something out of it, and really say, you know what? We made an impact on somebody's life. If it's just that one somebody that was such,
exactly,
hey, job well done.
Exactly.
Also, we got some comments coming in as well. Big shout out to everybody who was sending in questions from the audience. Big shout out to James Burns out of the DFW area. He said, how does she have not using her funny joke repeatedly? How does she balance that as a comedian? That's a question from the audience in the comment section.
Was it using a joke repeatedly?
Yeah, how do you handle not using funny jokes repeatedly?
Well, I mean, I would say like you can always freshen up a joke. You know what I mean? And even if that's part of your core material, I feel like you could always add something to it where it's not the very same way that somebody's have, and that's part of a growing part. You know what I mean too? Because when I got comfortable with material, I just wanted to do that material and then see try to get good at that particular material. You know what I mean? Before I try to go to something else, before I try to add on to it. So it's kind of like what Cat Williams was saying about a joke when Shannon Sharp asked him, how often do you do the joke? And he was saying like, the way that things are right now, people be in the crowd, if you get doing a joke and then it go online and that person's really hasn't crafted that joke and kind of, it's like working out a, dough. You know what I mean? Like making some bread, keep working on that joke to get it to, as high potential that joke can have with add-ons. Because, you do get that way. So you just kind of try to keep it fresh and maybe have a different delivery, or you can reorganize, restructure, how your material is so that it's not coming off as the very same joke.
Right, because I think you probably answered the second one too. It was two questions in one. Okay. And also the second was, how do you balance that? How do you balance that as being a comedian? How do you keep a balance when it comes to being a comedian? I'm not a comedian. I'm not finna say it's easy. Somebody can look at you and say, "Oh, I get up there and do it," but you gotta realize if you're not funny, man, them folks is gonna boo you out the building. So how do you keep? Go ahead.
It's not even because people, you can be funny but getting on stage, you can be funny off stage, around your friends and stuff like that. Getting on stage, it's an art. You know what I mean? That's a different animal. Because I thought my first time getting on stage, I thought I could just like kind of have material that I know what I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And I had got 3 minutes. My first time I ever bombed on stage. I went to an open mic, finally got out there. My first time, I had my friends with me, you know what I'm saying? They was videoing, you know what I'm saying, and everything. And I got up there, man, and it was like, because it wasn't something that I worked repetitiously, It was just like, okay, I know, I'm talking about this, that was funny. You know what I mean? And it's like, but when I got up there, that was like the longest 3 minutes in my life. You know what I mean? That was the longest 3 minutes and I went blank. And so you can't just, you really got to, constantly, be at least mentally rehearsing these things, even if you're not getting on stage. So, just finding that balance is, because we all work, most of us still work, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, not only that, but you got family, you got relationships, you know what I'm saying, that you got to try to work all in this and still try to be, work towards being a better you and trying to, really go to that next level, in this profession that you want to take to the next level.
Right. And we know you mentioned the Cat Williams interview. We know that was like one of the biggest interviews for Shannon Sharp. And he was addressing a lot of things within the comedian circle, of course. He mentioned people stealing material from other people. Do y'all is that and has that really been coming up a lot where individuals feel like this individual told my material, or how did that what's the word, that system work? You know, you have that rule where, hey, you don't take nobody else stuff, but how do y'all go about that in the circle? Like, okay, somebody asks, I like the material, can I use it? Or if someone go and take it, like, hey, you just took my stuff. How did they go about? Because we know that a lot of things were said that nobody never thought, and now it's being addressed a lot where certain individuals, they say, are taking other individuals material. Are that going to, how has that conversation come about with amongst comedians keeping 1,000 with each other and not going and taking someone else's material and using it as their own?
Well, I mean, I've heard people use the same material. Now, for me, I don't be following everybody. I don't know who said it first. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But the one who knows that they said it first, you know, yeah, they definitely, you know, have a problem with it. And, you know, so that definitely does happen. You know what I mean? And sometimes, and some people be as bold to tell you, like, hey, you know what? I was in Shreveport the other night, and I know you wasn't there, but your joke was, you know what I'm saying? Like, they used their material out of town. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you know, so that's just kind of hearing it at earshot, you know what I mean? But and that person just kind of laughed it off, you know. But people do that and they think it's okay. I don't, you know, I mean, be creative, you know what I mean? God gave us this gift, like if God lives within all of us, right? And you know, God is the ultimate creator, you know what I mean? So if God is within me, you know what I mean, then I have the power to create. You know,
right, exactly.
Look around at everything. You look at the sky, you know what I mean? And you look at the sky changes every few seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ultimate creation. You know what I mean? Like, it's a live picture show. So it's, you know, it's so many different things that, you know, God has created, and with him being inside of us, you know, like, we all have the power to create things on our own. There's no need to duplicate. Now, of course, you're gonna have some topics that are, you know, people talk, you know, we all live within the same world, you know what I mean, overall, and you know, they're going to come across, you know, certain topics, and you know, that everybody has an opinion on, you know, but don't use somebody's words verbatim, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, have your opinion and say your perspective and make it funny in your own way. Don't use their punchlines, you know. I think you could do it without doing that.
Yeah, that's it, because it's like someone come to you and ask you, can they date your ex? You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, it's okay that I did. Yeah, I guess it feels like, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. It's like certain things y'all believe, but somebody come to you, hey, I'm dating your ex, or is it okay for me to date your ex? That's kind of weird. It's
Right. Yeah.
Like, they be thinking in your mind, like, dang, you want to date my ex? Which y'all been talking to each other while we was together. You know, just,
yeah.
Nah. Just
there's some things that you just don't do. You know what I'm saying? Some things you just don't do.
And exactly. What James said. James says, he said, personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it as long as it makes the audience laugh. Yeah, but also it's all respecting too. If somebody use material or they ask permission, unless they ask permission. Hey, is it okay for you? Yeah, I guess everybody handling things, but I agree. You know, Alberta, it's all about being yourself, being unique, be your own, create your own. But we know people do take stuff. You see it all the time. But it's like when they do take it, they don't perfect it right.
Right. Yeah, you can't. You know what I mean? Because it's not something that you created. You know what I mean? It didn't come from you. You know, so it's not. You know, now that's not to say that you can't again take the same topic and put your own spin on it, but don't use somebody's words and a punchline verbatim. You know, and it's like, I mean, and I see James said, you know, well, what does it matter as long as you're making the audience laugh? No, it matters because these are jokes that people take time to write. You know what I mean, and to develop, and just like Cat said with his, he said he had been working on that joke for a long time. You know what I mean, to get it to where it was, and work with Mark Curry to help elevate it. You know what I mean, so it wasn't just like something he was just saying. So for somebody to take your art, you know what I mean, and okay, well, I'm gonna change the vehicle. You know what I mean, like it's still my joke. So unfortunately, I try to make jokes where they're a little bit more personal, so it's kind of hard for somebody to steal a joke,
and
saying.
And I get that's probably why people are skeptical when people record this stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're doing these events, and people, we know in the world of social media now, Berta, where people can take their phone and record you, live stream you without even knowing it.
Right.
And people take stuff and run with it like it's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on that as well? So also, because we know people are already recording stuff, you live streaming, don't even know what's going on, but then you look, you say that looks familiar. They realize that's my material, not somebody else took my material and doing it.
Right. Now, well. I mean, as far as it is a lot of people when they see people recording in the audience, it kind of throw them off. Where again, like you said, you don't even want to use your good jokes. You know what I mean? Like you just start kind of, I seen people just start doing crowd work because it's like, okay, if you're gonna record me, I don't want my stuff out there. You know what I mean? So
right.
So I think it's disrespectful to the comedian to record their material without their permission. Now. It'd be different if they handed their phone to somebody and said, "Hey, record this for me." But somebody that's just, coming to the show, enjoying the show, like enjoy the show, be present. You know what I mean? You ain't got to show everybody. If they not there, don't go live. You know what I'm saying? They should have been there. So
right.
This. What is the should not?
Hey, that's what it's all about. He got another question. Yeah. What is the should not do rule for comedians? What is the should not do rule for comedians?
Well, we just talked about. One, thou shalt not take other comedians' material.
Right.
Other than that, look, James, there are a lot of rules out there that I don't necessarily follow. It's I didn't come into comedy as somebody that had been doing it for a long time, or I wanted to do it for a long time, but I didn't. I wasn't just really. Consuming myself with it, at the time, and like to know all these different rules and stuff like that. I see a lot of comedians, talking about stuff, because there's, of course, like we got a DFW comedians group. They talk about different stuff with different rules. Hey, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But for me, like, thou shalt not be unfunny. Like that's the number one rule. Like you know what I mean? Like that's one thing that you shouldn't do as a comedian is to not be funny. But to me, you make your own rules, in my opinion. There's certain things that you definitely not do, and that's cover somebody else's material. But other things somebody else could give you a whole list of stuff. I just don't be into it like that. You know what I mean? To even because I know I'm doing my thing, so I don't really go by what everybody else say.
I respect. I guess James, like what you said with the emojis and the 100 behind it. So big shout. Thank you, James, for coming and being on. What he said? What we got? He said, let me pull this up. Sorry about that. That was funny. That's a skit idea. that was funny. They're leaving a statement. That was funny.
Okay.
That's a skit idea. So we noticed that now comedians are talking about a lot of comedians now. Recently, Monique went on the Shannon Sharp show and said something about Kevin Hart. Cat Williams, downplayed Kevin. Why is this stuff coming now where individuals, now it's like, now everybody want to put stuff out now. And it's like, I'm saying this by this person did this. Why is now our comedians now, it's like they're coming against each other now?
I think it's, as far as the two interviews go, I think with Cat, for me, I feel like the reason why he snapped was because people had already been on Shannon show, saying things about him, bringing him into it. You know what I mean? So I could understand, like, hey, you're not just gonna say just anything about me and me not retort it. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
so, he kind of got to that level. Was like, okay, y'all just keep my name in your mouth. Okay, all right, boom. So, and then you really don't want me to talk, type thing. And boom, he said what it was. As far as Monique goes, I haven't seen that whole interview. I'm gonna be honest. She telling her side of the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's unfortunate for it to seem like it's the attention that's coming to comedy is negative. At this time, I think Katz was a little bit more excusable than in a lot of people's eyes, because he was just responding to somebody already saying something about him. Monique is kind of just going back, bringing stuff, you know what I mean? Like, okay, let me get this off my chest, you know what I'm saying, type thing on that platform, because she feels like I can speak my truth here, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I ain't got nothing negative to say about either one of them. I just feel like, there's a couple of comedians. One of them, Damon Williams out of Chicago. He was saying, like, comedy's supposed to be fun, really taking it, to another level where, it's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be bringing light, to the world. So,
yeah. And most definitely, and James said everyone wants to be the king, being that all don't agree with certain comedians being the king. The queens are having these issues. Because now we're on bad terms, so I'm about to go out here and expose you. Nobody didn't know none of this stuff was going on.
Right.
Into some bad terms, some disagreements. Now I'm finna put out here who you are, what you done to me. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, now I gotta defend myself now, because this interview said something about me. So now I don't want people to look at me in the negative. Like, now I gotta respond. Then a lot of people were responding when he was dropping names.
Yeah.
A lot of people started responding. When Monique said something, D.L. Hughley had to respond. But it's like a lot of comedians are responding now. Like, you lied, you made this up, this and that. It wasn't like that. And we never seen this before, where you have comedians attacking each other now.
Yeah. Well, it's the age we live in too. You know what I mean? Where everything, it's monetary to get views and stuff like that. And so it's a benefit in it for people. But I could see clearing your name where somebody then said some things about you that wasn't true, especially when it goes against something that you completely believe in, that something that you are completely against, you know what I'm saying? Something that you just don't believe in at all. And and they're really trying to say that that's who you are. You know what I mean? Now let me just give you another perspective. But yeah, it's kind of messy. But again, I think it's just the world that we live in right now, where having access to all this type of stuff. Because I think back in the day, if Richard Pryor had social media, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that was back in the day, when him and Paul Mooney had issues, that I think he would probably be on somebody's podcast talking trash about him too. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we haven't seen it before, because we're in a different age.
Right. And we know we had Bill Cosby back in the day. But Bill Cosby had the clean, not cursing routine, and he was against Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy for using foul language. Red Fox for using foul language. But like I said, it wasn't no social media back then.
Mm-hmm.
But just imagine they had social media now and the stuff they would say. And let me ask you about this, Alberta, as well. I got one more quick before we go into it. Do comedians consider doing jokes on these public figures who get caught up? TD Jakes as an example. So do comedians consider doing jokes on these public figures whom get caught up? Let me say, do comedians consider doing jokes on these public figures whom get caught up? Okay, he was saying, do comedians consider doing jokes on public figures that get caught up? Like, it's a situation going on, but comedians would take it and make a joke out of it.
I mean, yeah, that's been going on for forever. Comedians always been, talking about what's going on to be relatable, because that's stuff that people saying, it's certain things that I don't touch. You know what I mean? So I'm not certain things I'm not gonna ever comment on because that's just I just was raised a certain way. You know what I mean? So
Right, yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about certain things just because they popular. You know, so especially in the age that we live in, where people can just say anything and people will take it and run with it just because and not know that person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so at the end of the day, somebody's believing something from somebody who ain't never interacted with somebody, or somebody that's just saying something because they don't like the way somebody is successful. You know what I mean? So there's certain things I'll never, and people that do, that's on you. But I know certain things to leave alone.
Right. Yeah. And, just like that's when he came up with the whole Diddy thing and stuff like that, and somebody put out something about being a power bottom. People went on what a power bottom is, and people pulled it up and want to know what's the definition of a power bottom. So people do things to just say, "Oh, I gotta see what's more." Let me ask you the transitioning. Back in the day when we had the days of Richard Pryor and the Red Fox and Eddie Murphy's, you name it. They could talk about any and everything, and people was not offended at all. Right. And we know people said that back then that was just living, that was life. Yeah. Now, when the generation is like you said, if you say one thing, I'm offended. I'm gonna do a lawsuit. So how is it for comedians now when going on stage on how do y'all walk on eggshells, or how do y'all handle that where everybody want to sue everybody? If you say something, I'm offended, now I'm gonna go sue. And how do you as comedians y'all handle this? This watered down version of generation that we in. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's some soft folks out there for real, but I personally, I want people to feel welcome. You know what I mean? I want people to feel, like stuff I'm talking about, they can laugh at. You know what I mean? Like, and not be like, can I laugh at that? You know what I mean? Like, and so I don't. That's not something that I'm not concerned with walking on eggshells, because I know that the material that I use, you know what I mean, is, I want everybody I want it to be universal. I want everybody to feel welcome. I want everybody to, I want to touch a little bit, of anybody that could be in the room. You know what I mean? So I try to, so I don't walk on. Now, some people, they don't care. They just gonna go out there and say what they want to say, whether it's offensive or not. Me, I don't want nobody feeling bad when they leaving my show, or, while I'm on stage, feeling like I'm attacking them, or I'm calling them out, or, I'm making them feel unwelcome, so I just kind of try to stay away from that. And that's just a personal decision, because that's not who I am. I'm not that type of person. So I just in general, I want people to feel love coming from me, and unless we're on the football field.
I mean, because it is where we having these conversations, and a lot of times on the show where we may be talking about relationship, I'm saying now we're starting to address the elephant in the room. Well, we're starting to have these quote unquote uncomfortable conversations. Now we're being more comfortable talking about things. And just when you're talking to people, hey, I don't want you to feel offended, or if you ask a certain question, someone gets offended. Yeah. And it's just like, it's all about having fun, all in love.
Right.
But I want to make sure you good, because don't say you good, then you come back later on 5-10 days and I say I was offended, but you told me it was good.
But look, I'm gonna tell you this too, and it's another reason why I don't walk on eggshells, because at the end of the day, I know that you cannot please everybody. You know what I mean? Some people get offended on something that is not even offensive. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't cater to everything. It's too many different personalities in the room. You know what I mean? So all I could do is make sure that I know for a fact that I didn't say anything offensive. So if you have a problem with something that I said, that's on you. You know what I mean? It's a reflection of you, and it's not me. You know what I mean? So so I'm gonna be me, and because I know that where I come from a place of love. You know what I mean? And I just want to, and so I don't. Somebody gonna be offended. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody is gonna be offended, no matter what you do, no matter how good you are. Just being a good person, just your light offends people. You know what I mean? So I can't worry about that. I just got to be me.
Yeah, you got to, especially not just like when we have personal conversations or where you met at the workplace. At the workplace, we have all type of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about being real and who
Mm-hmm.
you are, and just hey, we talking about this stuff because we know we had it before, where people be all cool and then later on say I was offended. But
Yeah.
why you say be
Oh, you didn't
honest?
say nothing right then. Yeah. But it's
Exactly.
a lot of cowards in the world too. So you got to understand, everybody not built like you. And that's something that I am very aware of. So it's like, okay, no, that's really not what I said. But if that's how they want to take it, all right. Well, what I can do is explain what I said. And if you
Right.
still
Don't put
take it the
words in your
wrong
mouth.
way, yeah, exactly. Don't. All right, everybody gonna have their own perception or whatever, and it's more of a reflection of where they at that time. You know what I'm saying? And not who I am and what I said.
Right. Well, and we know this is Super Bowl weekend, of course. We know
Yeah.
it's the 49ers and Kansas City on tomorrow. So will you be watching the game tomorrow or y'all got some work to do? So it's gonna be
Uh,
two.
I'm gonna have the game on. I'm not good at just sitting and watching stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like one, I not that I don't like TV, I do, but I get too involved. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and so I be anxious. I don't like to feel anxious, and I used to be a coach. You know what I mean? So I'm coaching at the TV. Don't nobody want to watch TV with me because I'm talking. You know what I mean? I'm talking. I'm super animated if I do watch TV. So I really want to see the halftime show. I don't really have a dog in a fight, so it doesn't matter to me who wins. I'll watch some of it, but I'm sure I'll be walking in and out, throughout the game because that's just what I do. But when I'm
Yeah.
watching, I'll be really involved.
Right. And I respect the athlete's mindset because at the end of the day, all them guys want to be great. I mean, you got some who just want to collect the paycheck, more power to you. But you got some who's all about legacy. And I know
Yeah.
you are a woman who's about legacy. And that's all about leaving your mark on this world. Because we know one day we're here, tomorrow we're gone. But at the end of the day, it's all about leaving your legacy that it can carry on for generations to come. So how do Alberta want to be remembered after it's all said and done? Which I know you're still a young woman and you still have work to do. You ain't scratched the surface. What they say, I ain't scratched the surface yet.
Yeah. I ain't scratched service yet, but I like I said, it's just a recurring theme for me. I want to be a vessel of light and love. You know what I mean? And that's what I want. I want people to say, man, you know what? I ran into her. You know what I'm saying? And she was the same every time I ran into her. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we all have bad days, but I'm not gonna display that to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put that on you. I'm just gonna show you light and love. You know what I mean? So that's what I want people to remember me by. It's just being somebody that love people. You know what I mean? And want people to, be on that higher vibration. That's what I want to bring.
Right.
Is just a higher vibration and inspire somebody to say, hey man, you know what? She went to battle with herself and had to get past herself, which is yourself is your biggest opponent. You are your biggest opponent. You know what I'm saying? That voice in your head that's telling you can't do that or that fear. You know what I mean? And you gotta push through that. So if I could just inspire somebody to say, man, she went from not even being able to hold the microphone on stage to having all this charisma and being able to just really be herself and be confident. I love that about her. That's what I would want somebody to remember me by. It's just my heart. Yeah.
And that's what's up. And we're gonna take one more quick commercial break, and then we're gonna jump right back into our Q&A conversation with our final remarks and all the other good stuff. Because we know it is Saturday, and you are a woman of business. So I'm gonna make sure I want to hold you up. So I'm gonna do one more commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're gonna wrap it on up. And after that, we want everybody have a great weekend.
You only have to be right one time. You don't have to figure it all out in advance. You can be wrong. You can pick the wrong career. You can pick the wrong job. You can pick the wrong spouse. You can pick the wrong whatever. But you get it right one time, you're set. But if you don't try, you'll never get that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Way Impact Boys podcast. With my guest, Alberta The Exception, with me in the studio. She's no stranger on the show. This is your third time that you was on the platform. But
I believe it's my third time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you because I always get better and better at all times. I appreciate you as well also. So I know you have an event coming up this coming Tuesday, correct?
Yes.
Let us know what time what people can expect, where it's going to be located at, so they can really come on out and support.
All right. So this Tuesday I'm gonna be at the Addison Improv. Trying to see what time. It's either 7 or 7:30. It's on my page. So follow me right there, Alberta underscore comedy. That's the Derek Jack and Friends show. We got some amazing comedians gonna be on there. Anastasia Bowe, Dexter Givens Jr. It's gonna be a dope show. I'm also gonna be at the Arlington Improv on Sunday, the 18th, with Casey Sticks, Casey Evans and Friends. So that's gonna be another dope show to come out to. That one definitely starts at 7 o'clock on Sunday. You can also inbox me if you want to have. I can get you on my guest list for free tickets. So just hit me up if you're interested in coming out. I'd love to have you at the show as my guest.
And that's what's up right there. So I know, keep up the great work and all the other stuff. Let me ask you one more question. How has that really, when it comes to women comedians, the men comedians, how has it when it comes to women? How are they treated? The embrace, because I know it's like with women, they're supposed to be more sexual and things of that nature. Instead of just fucking more to give, they want to be more focused on your sex appeal. So how has that really been with women when it comes to being in the world of comedy when it comes with the men?
Well, I mean, I can't. I mean, of course, everybody's gonna say something different. You know what I mean?
Right,
so I can only speak from my perspective. For me, you know, I just be myself. You know, I don't worry about how people be thinking. You know what I mean? What people be thinking, and people embrace me. They love me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? Just being me, because I'm gonna be myself every single time. You're not gonna be like, see me one day and then be like, see me the next time and I'm acting different. You know, I might not remember who you are, but I'm still be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I might not remember your name, but I might be like, dang, I know you from somewhere. Hey, give you a hug anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that's just who I am. I see people in the story be like, hey, Alberta The Exception. I'll be like, hey, you know what I mean? That happens to me in the
But don't you really,
like, for real?
But don't you really hate that? I won't say the word hate, but it's like they remember you, but you don't remember it. Like,
so many people, you know what I mean? And honestly, when I see people, like, I have to see when I've always been like this though. I have to associate you with something. Like, if you in a relationship with somebody and I'm used to seeing you with that person, and I see you away from that person, when I see you, it's gonna be like I'm a speak because you look familiar, but I don't know where I know you from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I'll be like, oh yeah, hey, and then I'll hug you even different. Like, oh, okay, let me give you a little tighter hug. Now I remember who you were. But like, I've always been like that. Like, I'll meet. I mean, because I don't really look at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of those people that could be talking to you and be looking at you, but not really seeing you. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell the officer what you look like. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh dang, no, I know I was talking to him for an hour, but I can't tell you. You know what I'm saying? I can't give you no description because he took his hat off. You know, I remember his hat on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just that person. But yeah, no, that does happen a lot. You know, because you know I played football with the corporate America. You know what I'm saying? I always had side gigs. You know, so for me to see somebody that look familiar, you know, outside of where I know them from, I'm always like that. Like, hey, just I'm gonna show you love regardless. I don't know who you are right now. I think about it, but you know, but that's just.
What is that word about that? I don't want to say the word offend. What, I guess if to them, like, we don't care as a way, it's like names. Like, they know your name, but it's like, yay, what's your name?
Hey girl. Hey, look at you. Yeah, I'll do that in a second if I don't know your name. I'll be like, hey.
Oh, you gotta hear somebody say their name and then, okay, that's their name. Because I'm like that too. They can know me, but then it's like, hey, what's up? Don't remember their name, but hey, what's up? Then I want to ask them their name because I don't want them to feel like I wasn't paying attention. Right. I have to wait to hear somebody say their name.
Exactly. Yeah, but you know, I still show love regardless because it's like, you know, obviously you're not an enemy because I would remember you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would remember that. But, you know, so obviously it's all love. You came at me in love, so I'm going to give you the same energy as I would, you know, if I knew your name, you know. So that's just how I roll.
Hey,
don't be offended, y'all. That's just how I am. I got to associate. Change your shirt, I was looking at the shirt. I paid attention. It was a red shirt, and then you changed the shirt. I don't know who you are now.
I know. It's just like people like they may associate with something. They may did something silly. Oh, that's who that is. And then they did, like, okay. Anyway, so I'm not gonna hold you up. I know you're a very productive woman. So you got, what else you got coming up? I know you got an event coming up. Let me ask you this too. I know you do a lot of hosting. You're also on stage. So what you like doing? You like working behind the scenes, or I know you do a lot of that too, working behind the scenes with hosting and things like that. So which ones you like doing the most? Well, I mean, like doing all of them the most, but
I do. You know, I just like I enjoy interacting with the people. You know what I mean? And to be honest, I really do enjoy giving comedians a platform. You know what I'm saying? To have a show, to be able to invite people out to see them, you know, display their talent. You know, so it's not always about me. I love doing that. You know, I'm looking forward to doing more of that in 2024. You know what I mean? And you know, I want to be in a position where I can fill a room myself so that people don't have to be worried about, hey, sell these tickets, you know what I mean, or you know, anything like that. Just, hey, come be at your best. That's what I want you to do, is just show up, do your thing, not worry about, you know, getting people in the door. If you get people in the door, that's fine, but I want to be in a position to give that to them, because that's a beautiful gift to give a comedian, as a crowd. You know what I mean? Like, that's, man, talking about somebody act up, give them a crowd. You know what I mean? So that's something I really do enjoy, that part of providing a platform. So I'm definitely gonna get back to that this year as well. But I mean, I love interacting with the people. So it's hard. It's a hard choice, but you know, it's nothing better than that drive home after you've had a great show.
Right, because we know a lot of people make that transition from being in front of the people, now working behind the scenes with being executive producers and producers and directors, and from a whole different spin. So will you be doing more of that, being more a producer, executive producer? I know you are a promoter as well, working behind the scenes, and like you said, giving other individuals a platform. But at the end of the day, it's all about having relationships, but putting these other individuals out before a crowd, that's a blessing anyway. Giving back, so you help them take their career to the next level. Because I know you had people look out for you when you first started.
Absolutely.
Now it's like, okay, I had people look out for me. Now I want to look out for these up and comers that's coming out. So that's a beautiful thing, to just giving back at all time.
Yeah, absolutely. We my show on Tuesday is at 7:30. Okay, at the Addison Improv. Like I say, that Sunday show is at 7 o'clock. And then I have another show the following week on the 20th at that following Tuesday in Plano at the Plano House of Comedy. So I'll have complimentary tickets for that one as well. Like I say, just inbox me there at Alberta_comedy, or hit me up on my Facebook page at Alberta The Exception. In March I got a couple shows coming up as well. I'm gonna be in Dallas at the spot called The Back Room on March the 8th and the 9th with comedian Flo Hernandez and Chris Hopkins. That's gonna be a dope show right there. And then I've got another show coming up on March the 22nd with Dexter Gibbons, Dexter's Laboratory. That's gonna be a dope show. It's gonna be in Dallas at Snoop's Events Center. So it's gonna be fun. So got some good shows coming up, man. So y'all just follow me, and I'll be posting flyers and everything.
Hey, and that's what's up as well. I appreciate you again, Brad, for taking time on your productive schedule. Like I said, I don't want to hold you up. I know you got some things you got to do. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. I know it's raining outside. Just be careful when you're out there on the streets, on the roads. Remember, people drive crazy, so be careful out there. Make sure you have your car insurance as well. Also, make sure you have your insurance, because people drive crazy out there. I want to throw that plug out there. But most important, man, y'all be careful and be safe out there. And we will be back Tuesday night at the prime time zone at 7 p.m. To then, man, y'all be good. One more thing, Bert, do you have any final remarks, any sound of wisdom that you want to share here with the audience that's watching us right now and will watch it in the near future, and also that will listen to us on iHeart and Spotify and Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I would say is, um, the battle against yourself is not just you. Everybody goes through it, but you absolutely have everything that you need within you to win that battle, and become the person that you want to be. You just need to visualize it, right? The second thing I would say is have grace with yourself, because you're not gonna always, you might have been at 10 and have to start back over, at 1 to get to 20, right? 11 to 20. So just have that grace, give yourself that grace and that time to learn and to learn and to grow, and just know that we're constantly growing. And give other people that same grace. Don't, just make sure you give them the same grace that you would expect to have in your life as well. So, because we all, like you said at off top, we all going through something. Everybody's battling something, and most of the time we're battling within ourselves. So be kind to each other, and shine that light, and show love. More love is needed in the world for sure.
Hey, that's what's up right there. So we got this thing, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a great Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Love, be loved, all the other good stuff. Working your goals, chase your dreams, and your dreams into reality. Like I said, we got this thing, man. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Be blessed. Bye.